Well, I'm gonna get started here, guys. For those who will be watching the recording, feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you guys for joining us. Glenn here for Hawaii Trading Academy. I'll be holding down the fort tonight on tonight's call, and we put together these Trading Topic Tuesdays for you folks, for our members, to help them, empower them to build courage and confidence, share our knowledge and our experience. It's a place to have the right conversations that's going to be able to move us forward, in regards to trading, in regards to psychology with trading, in regards to having the right mindset, risk management. Our goal, Reed and I, is to create an environment, create a place to help you guys get cultivated as traders and ultimately get funded. And that is our passion. We put together this online community, you guys. We've been having meetups as well, but we're so happy to have you tonight, man. Tonight we're switching up the gears a little bit. We had a few Traders Lab calls this month talking about the recent market action. Today we're gonna be switching it up. We're gonna be talking about, if someone was to give you $1,000, right? Like, here, where would you invest it in? It's a common question we gotten asked, common question you see on forums, on social media, right? If you was to have $1,000 right now, where would you put it? Okay, hopefully you can see my screen here. So where to invest 1K today? I didn't mean to rhyme there, but where to invest 1K? $1,000. We got crazy inflation, right? All-time high, recent high. We got all these things going on. We got COVID. We still got they're just the government spending money left and right, making new bills. We're sending money out of the country. Manufacturing is having a hold up. Shipping, all these things are brewing up, right? And here we are talking about $1,000. No, bear with us. We're gonna get to the meat here, right? This is not just a simple topic. I want to go beyond the surface here, and in regards to investing $1,000, right? Because there are some things involved beyond just the paper or the money of that makes up the $1,000. Okay, and so let's talk about growing up. This is what I was taught: save, save, save. Put my money in the bank. This was my upbringing. I'm sure it's common for many other people that probably heard the same thing or were taught the same thing. I Googled, I used Google. I pulled up the average interest rate for today's savings account. And that right here, 0.13%. Not even a percent anymore. This is a survey, weekly survey taken August 17th by Bankrate. And they survey the institutions. Now, it's like, dude, what does that mean, right? So that's 0.13. That's average. I found a higher end bank saving interest rate being offered by a bank. It was 2.1%. Okay, and I want to break it down for you guys. I want to break it down because growing up, I wasn't a math whiz. Okay, I like to see things visually. I use my calculator. Interest rates. Before we use examples, we want to share that interest rates back in the day, where my parents were taught to save, they were getting 4 to 5% interest on their money. Okay, it was more back then, 70s, 80s. It was even more, 5%. All right, just having your money sit in the bank. And so, of course, that made sense back then. But nowadays, how do you make sense of that? So let's take that example. Let's take that example of, if we were to just throw our money, usually, right, we get our money, we put it in the bank, deposit it, we give it away. Say this bank A pays you 2.1%, on your $1,000. After a year, your $1,000 made $21. What is that, like one visit at Starbucks for you and your friend? Huh? Putting it in perspective, and so that whole idea of save, put your money in the bank, it may not be relatable in 2022. Yes, banks are secure, or they have security, they're guarded, right? They're FDIC insured, federally insured and whatnot. And, sometimes we don't have any other choice. sometimes. Yeah, you know, and so you're like, oh, okay, what do I do? Do I just put under my money under my bed, put it in my wall? You can. Well, I'm not saying you should, but you know, we're taught that. So we were taught to put the money in the bank, and what do we do? And so, you know, going back to the whole idea of where to put $1,000 today. Just think about it. We're just gonna bring it to you guys. $1,000 by itself will not change your life right now. Okay, you cannot. There's a big chance, unlikely chance, that if you were to take that $1,000 and put it into something, that your life will be where you want it to be, or you achieve the goals that you want. For one, sometimes, say if you have a big goal or you want to help your community, that $1,000 can only go so far. You know, if you want to go buy that dream house, you know, $1,000 probably will pay like a HOA fee or a maintenance fee. So we don't want you guys get stuck on that $1,000. Let's go beyond that. I want to break it down for you guys. We're gonna break it down, okay? So say we have the $1,000, and it's that whoever gave us the $1,000 says you have to invest it somewhere. So what's available today? We got crypto, we got NFTs, right? They're volatile, they're not consistent. Lots of crypto exchanges are freezing everyone's account, going bankrupt, just disappearing into thin air. It's ugly out there. So we could go ahead. People have done it. I've known people who put their $1,000, their stimulus check, into the market 2 years ago when everyone was getting it, right? So you could do that. Or you can go to Vegas. You can go $1,000 on black, right? You can get lucky. You're essentially gambling, okay? You know, you can go to the market, the stock market. You can go buy 10 stocks at $100, or 100 stocks at $10 each. You guys do the math. Actually, you probably get less because there's commission fees and all these other things that you have to consider, transaction fees, in order to purchase these stocks, right? Those are things out there. You can go ahead and put money to work. The barrier of entry is way lower than it was years ago. Right, so that $1,000 can get you a position. You got real estate. Almighty real estate is not cheap. Home prices skyrocketed. Of course, mortgage rates went up. Buyers are starting to drop off. Prices are starting to come down right now. Right, so if you're buying the actual real estate, yes, it's not cheap. That $1,000, I don't know what you're gonna do with it. Okay, then you have REITs. Right, that's another option that's related to the real estate area, where it's a real estate investment trust, I believe, where they're pooling money from investors and using that to purchase an asset, which is going to be a real estate. Could be a commercial building, multifamily, whatever it may be. Could be land, you know, if it's money producing, cash flowing asset. And what they do is they pay the investors out through dividends based on the cash flow of the property. So it's an option. I think the barrier of entry for REITs are low as well. So yeah, it's out there. Okay, but what we really wanted to dig in tonight is the mindset behind the $1,000 and behind how people view money. Through my years of learning and listening to wealthy people talk, being in the rooms with them, they look at the money differently. It doesn't matter if it's $100, $1,000, $100,000, 1 million, right? It doesn't matter. The bottom line is that the wealthy view money different than average people. Okay, and this is me talking to my old self. Okay, back in the day, I was holding on to every single dollar I had, right? I had the scarcity mindset. I was holding on to it because I thought, or I didn't realize, I didn't think I could make more of it. I was stuck to that mindset, right? If I spend it, I can't get it back, right? I was fearful. I didn't know. I didn't have any financial literacy. I did not know anything about investing. I knew was to get that in, make the money, create the income, and then spend it on liabilities, right? So that's what I was doing. That was the game I was playing. And I wasn't receiving the right information. I wasn't putting myself in the right place or listening to resources, watching the right things. I was just consumed, being more of a consumer of liabilities and not bettering myself than looking to grow myself. So the wealthy, they're willing to spend the money to expand. They're financially literate. They take risks. They leverage. They network. They leverage that $1,000 to look for a bigger win. Okay, and let me just dive into that a little bit. Right, they're willing to spend the money. So I've learned, right, from a mentor of mine, that he gave an example. This is the way that wealthy look at money. If they had a $50,000 tax bill, right, they owe Uncle Sam. Okay, because a lot of wealthy people I know, they pay their taxes. Okay, don't think you can just avoid them when you make it. You have to pay your taxes. Say a person had a $50,000 tax bill. Okay, we got two people. We got someone who's financially literate, someone who isn't, right? So new Glenn, old Glenn. We'll just go with that. Old Glenn would be freaking out to receive a $50,000 tax bill at the end of the year, and I'd be scrambling, I'd be stressing out, gathering up every single dollar I had to go ahead and go pay the $50K. Right, I'll probably go sell the things that I bought in order to go pay for it. New Glenn would figure out, okay, I got a $50,000 bill. What can I spend my money on, right, in order to lower that bill, or if not, decrease it almost to zero, right? I'm probably gonna have to spend more, right? So, New Glenn, say I have a business, right? I'd rather spend $100K to create new expenses for advertising, for new equipment, whatnot, payroll. I'd rather spend $100K to get and grow my business. For one, I'm helping decrease the tax bill. Two, I'm expanding the business, expanding myself, my knowledge, whatever, rather than just paying $50K. Because if you're giving the $50K away to Uncle Sam, right, they're like, okay, you're cleared. Wait till next year. And so those are two different mindsets. I never thought about the way that of spending more, of thinking in that way, that bigger think. Spending the $100K in order to progress and grow and taking care of your tax bill, rather than just spending the $50K, doing the minimum, that's spending $100K is a better bet. That makes sense for me now. Wealthy people, right, they go ahead and take risks. They go ahead and leverage that $1K. So for example, when there's conferences out there, there's workshops, there's self-development courses, whatnot, they're so quick. I realize wealthy people, right, they're quick. They make a decision quick to go ahead and spend that $1,000, because they know that $1,000 dinner or that $1,000 meeting will get them in the room with the right people, right? And those people come with more opportunity. Those people come with networks. Those people come with knowledge that you or I don't have. And so sometimes spending a $1K right then and there, that could be a hack to getting to a place where you want to be, rather than trying to do it on your own and figuring it out on your own, holding on to that $1,000, So I'm trying to flip the perspective here for you folks about not just spending the $1,000. We're going what's behind the motive, right? What's going on in your mind? What's keeping you from looking at the $1,000 differently, the way you should be looking at it? Okay? We got to make the decision that you'll be able to commit more time and energy beyond the money. For example, right? If you're looking for a new venture, if you're interested in starting something new, if you're wanting to learn how to trade, okay? And if you take that $1,000 or more and you go ahead and purchase a course or some books or pay someone, a mentor or whatever, you gotta realize that just because you spent that money, that doesn't guarantee you to get the result that you want, because you gotta go ahead and make the commitment to follow through. That $1,000 was a barrier of entry to getting these the right conversations. You still gotta go put in the effort, the work, the commitment, the energy to go beyond that, And so what I kind of want to leave you guys with for this time, right? You gotta figure out what you want to exchange for that $1,000. Okay, start looking at the money differently. You start detaching yourself emotionally from the money. Okay, money is just paper. Money is a tool. People say that money is the root of all evil, right? But if you look at the scripture in the Bible, it says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." Okay, so those are little different myths that's just thrown out there, gets us thinking with the wrong information. Save. Money is the root of all evil. All these different things. So you got to really think beyond that. What does that really mean? We hear these things all the time, right? So you got to go figure out what you want in exchange for that. So say if I was starting out, I want to learn the market. I want to learn how to trade. I get that $1,000. I'd be like, okay, with this $1,000, I want to grasp enough knowledge and skill to be able to operate in the market and being able to, hopefully make that money back, or if not, grow more and be able to trade for the long game, trade in the market for the long game, or I'm going to spend this $1,000 because I want to spend time with this person because they have what I want, or they've done what I want to do, and I want to get their advice, pick their brain, they say, and so if you have to go take them out to that nice steak dinner, do it. Okay, food always works, man, I'll tell you that. Number 2, you got to make a decision to commit to progress, right? So as I was saying beyond in the previous slide, you got to first spend the money. You got to let go of it. Make a decision to let go of it. If you're on the teeter-totter, going back and forth about even letting go of that $1,000, you got to be able to commit. You got to make a decision and do it. Just got to do action. So you got to make a decision and commit, right? And then you got to invest more time and energy. Okay, as I was mentioning, if I was a trader and I wanted to jump into trading and learn, a lot of people, from what I've seen and experienced, they would just go ahead and spend the money because they just wanted to spend money. They go buy that course. They buy that course. They get access to it. They're excited for 2 days, and then they stop using it, right? Stop using it. And so you want to go back to figuring out what's the reasoning for it, and you got to go and figure out how to invest more time, how to be intentional with that.